Hello, and welcome back to the madness. It is Monday. Already you will have noticed that there is not going to be a Flosstube today. Excuse me, I got a little frog there, and I just hit you guys. Yeah, I only have 3 projects that oh my gosh, my mirror. Okay, hold on, let's fix this. John must have hit the mirror with my club and there we go. Oh my gosh, I can't. Okay, you guys are good, I'm good. So, I only was able to work on 3 projects this week, and I'm not doing a floss tube for 3 projects. And it's not even like I did 1,000 stitches. One has 500. I think 2 have 500. And one has 300, I think. Yeah, so no, that's not happening. Oh, I better check my tires. Okay, they're good. So, where we left off was Friday had the worst day of my freaking life. I swear to God, it was so bad. If it could go wrong, it went wrong. First, we started off with, I didn't even tell you guys, but you know, when you're pushing up the toothpaste, when you're getting down to the end, you do the squeezy thing. I bet you if I did this 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 times, it would never happen again. I was pushing up the toothpaste, and there was like an air bubble. And all of a sudden, my eye started burning like crazy. And it's not like I had a chunk of toothpaste in my eye. It was just like a mist. Then the tire happened. Then work was just blah. Get home, I'm like, okay, everything's gonna be great now, right? We have dinner so the day before was John's birthday, right? And I bought one of those big freaking birthday cakes. After dinner, John's like, you want a piece of cake? I'm like, yeah. So he goes and he's like cussing up a storm. I'm like, what is wrong? He's like, there are ants all over it. I was like, damn it. I only get cake 3 times a year, right? Used to be 4, but now it's 3. And even when it was Jonathan was home, he doesn't like the cake we like. So I like the one with the whip frosting. Jonathan likes buttercream. I don't like buttercream. I don't like chewing on a cake that has sand because there's so much damn sugar. I don't like very sweet things, and the Cool Whip frosting is just enough sweetness. So he throws it out, and then like 10 minutes later he goes back in the kitchen and I hear the cake thing. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm just making sure that the ants weren't on just the outside, but nope, they're all over this damn cake. Like, my husband is the biggest germaphobe. I know if he would have opened up that cake and there would have been no ants on it, he still wouldn't have eaten it. Because what if an ant got in and then got out real fast? So that was that. I already knew that I was going to have to work Saturday when I left the shop Friday. So we get up, and when I left the shop too, I told a certain person, I said, please do not have the girls text me tonight, because if there's earlies, the night before the girls are supposed to text me. I said, we know about all of the earlies. We are going to be here at 8 o'clock in the morning. I don't need a text, because I knew we would get the text when we were trying to take a nap, because it was so stressful. I needed a freaking nap that day. So John gets up from his nap. He comes out in the living room. He goes, Renee texted me. Supposedly we have an 8 a.m. to Wujek. I said, bullshit. I said, we open at 8. We will be there at 8. You will get Wujek and you'll run over to Wujek. I am not coming in any early for them saying it was at 8 o'clock. So that morning we get there. No, it's 9 o'clock. I was like, she ruined my whole freaking night because I was so, it was just like the last nail. It was like, I told her not to text us. It just, when things aren't in your control and you just feel like things are slipping through your hands, basically. It's like you can't get ahead, and then someone just like, something else happens, something else happens, and you get pushed back another 5 feet, so you don't feel like you're advancing. Does that make sense? And it's not on one specific thing. It's just like you're trucking down life, and then whoop, or someone trips you. Oop, there you go. You're tripped again. That's how it was feeling this weekend. So I ended up working till, I don't remember what time it was. Basically the whole freaking day. I came home and I was able to cross stitch some. I don't remember what project I even cross stitched on. No, that's really, the vintage flag. That's right. I was just doing the fill-in. So then I got all set up for yesterday, right? Before I went to bed. I picked the projects I was going to work on. I was going to work on them for 2 to 3 hours each, depending on, I was saying 3 though. But in my mind, it was like, okay, if it gets down to 2, it's fine, Becky. You'll still be able to do a floss tube if you get to stitch on these projects. It was only 4 projects I picked. So I wake up in the morning and I sit down to do the taxes, and I don't know what it was about this year, but every tax that I transferred, something was messed up with the transfer. And I've been doing this for I don't know how many freaking years. I've never had a problem. So when it says verified, I'm just like, yep, that looks right. I don't go line by line by line. It's all the personal information, the social security number, the birth dates, all that crap, right? So I do Jonathan's, and I learned something. He's allowed to claim his rent. So he got an extra almost $1,000 he's getting back from the state because he can claim his rent. He only missed out on it on 1 year. And they were like sharing the apartment, so I wouldn't even know how to do that. So when it mattered, I learned that you could do that. Let's just put it that way. So he would have been able to claim it for 2 months the year before. 2 months? Yeah. 3 months. October, November, December. 3 months. So it's not a big deal. So I submit his. I get rejected. I'm like, what the hell? And I can't remember the first rejection, what it said. I had to fix something. I was like, oh, that's easy. I'll just fix that. And then the second rejection, it said his social security number. I'm like, what? Look it up. I'm like, where the hell did that number even come through? At first I was thinking maybe it was because you have to enter in the employee's number. Okay, I'll remember where I'm at. Okay, so I was at the part of the employee ID number. Did I come up with that before? So I was thinking maybe that got put where his social security was. I don't know. Number was. So I went to, after I figured, I want to say there was 2 things wrong with his. I got 2 rejection letters. And so I fixed it, and I went to go hit submit, and it says, we're sorry, but with this program, you're only allowed to do 5 federal returns. And I'm doing the math, and so far I've only done my friend at work, Rebecca's, Jonathan's, and mine. That's 4. I'm like, mother scratcher. How the hell do you count that as 5? And I'm like, I'm baffled. I'm like, are they counting each rejection as a filing? Because that's bullshit. So I still have my friend's daughters to do. And I did hers. And then I go to transmit it, and it says again that I've already done 5. I'm like, no, I haven't. And at this time, I got my other rejection letter, my 5th one for mine taxes. And I'm like, if it doesn't let me submit mine, I am going to blow a gasket. Because then this is really bullshit. I was able to submit mine. And now, usually it's like 20 minutes later and you get, the federal government has rejected your taxes text, or it has approved. 2 hours later. The federal, and I keep getting these emails too. Your tax return was rejected. Reminder, your tax return was rejected. It's like, okay, but it wouldn't be like right away. So I get a text message saying your federal taxes have been accepted. 2 minutes later, I get a text message, an email saying your federal taxes have been rejected. And I'm like, so which one is it, assholes? Is it rejected or accepted? I go, by now I have turned off all the computers. This is 9 hours into doing taxes. All Sunday, all I did was do frickin' taxes. So I go and I boot up the computer again, and it showed, because when you go into TurboTax, it says check the status of your tax return, and I clicked on it and it said federal approved, state pending. And I'm like, okay, federal was approved, so that's that, you know. I know the state is going to be approved, they're just taking a little longer. So ended up having to buy a new TurboTax program, which was really cool. My friend, she bought it. I still had to do her daughter's. I'm like, we can mail this shit in. So I was able to print, and I could mail in the taxes and they would be accepted. But I wanted to e-file. And my friend has a very bad habit. I shouldn't even be talking about her because I still haven't mailed what I'm supposed to mail to my friend. Oh my God. But she has a very bad habit of not mailing things, even though, now at least my whole hold up is I got to get an envelope and not just like a letter envelope. But I got to get an envelope, a bubble wrap one, so I can mail this. I don't know what I can do here. Can I turn there? We will follow this white van. Yes, we can turn it. Okay. With her, I even fill out the envelope, and all I tell her is that she needs, I even put the postage on for her. I always put 3 stamps because the one year I only put 1 stamp, and the postman brought it back to me on April 15th saying, oh, I needed more postage. I'm like, what the? Anyways. So, all she has to do is sign the documents, seal the envelope, and drop it in any mailbox. The 1 year, 6 months later, she was like, oh, Becky, you'll be proud of me. I finally got my taxes in the mail. I'm like, what? And when you owe, it doesn't matter if you don't get penalized for being late with your taxes when the government owes you money. I'm like, I can't believe you. So I knew she didn't want it to be mailed in. So she bought the program, right? So I go on the other laptop, and the other laptop is so freaking old. It took forever to download the program. And then when we went to because once you download the program, then you have to do the updates on it. It wouldn't update. And I was like, are you kidding me? So long story short, I had a little argument with Rebecca. And today, well, she was supposed to do it last night. I don't know if she did it. She's downloading it on her computer. And then when I get home from work, I'm using her computer to finish these damn taxes. Yeah, so in 30 more minutes, I'm going to call her and ask her if she was able to put it on her computer. If she can't, then that means I had to buy another one. Because I'm really scared that, because we tried putting it on the one computer, it's going to say that it's already been installed on a computer and we can't install it on another computer. And then I'm just going to throw a fit. So, that was my day yesterday. At one point, I think it was, I had been working on it for like 6 hours. And John had come home from work. And I was like, oh, that's it. I got to put this away for a bit because I'm ready to smash my laptop. And I mean, I turned everything off except for the TV. My living room was so dark. And I said, I might even take a fucking nap right now. Excuse me. Hold on, I gotta take a drink. And John's like, you know what? I was thinking the same thing. I'm gonna go take a nap. I said, are you gonna take a nap out here? Or are you gonna go in the bedroom and take a nap? He's like, oh, no. I'm gonna go take a nap in the bedroom. I was like, okay. So, I don't know what I was doing. Maybe I was looking at my phone or something. It was only like 3 minutes. And I look over at John and he's asleep. I'm like, oh, John, are you taking a nap out here? or in the bedroom. He's like, well, what? In the bedroom? What? I fell asleep? I'm like, yeah, you fell asleep. I said, but if I come in the bedroom, I'm going to take the court case with me. And he's like, that's fine, that's fine. So we get in the bedroom. It's pitch dark. I didn't even bring my phone in the bedroom. That's how done I was with everything. I'm never without my phone. And because I didn't want to play any games, I just wanted to lay in my recliner. And if I fell asleep, I fell asleep. Well, then the court case got so freaking interesting that I was wide awake. I was wide awake, but at least my tension headache was gone, or stress headache, or whatever, frustration headache. It was gone, and I was feeling less on edge and everything. So he wakes up, and so the trial started out very slow and boring. The first witness talked really slow and no emotion with her voice. And it was like, oh my God, she's putting me to sleep. Well then, oh shoot, dude. But then, and the next evidence was the video of, okay, so what it is, this case happened probably now like 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, I don't know. I'm watching old recovery addict cases that he had, and this one was, I want to say, the time of year is Thanksgiving, and it was 2 years ago. So whatever. But this Border Patrol officer was a serial killer. He killed prostitutes. And this is the one that got away and went straight to the police. And within, I think it was 2 days, he was captured. So, when she's telling the story, it's very slow. But then when we get to see her running to the officer, and how animated and scared, and you can just see the fear in her eyes, then it started getting good. But even before we saw that video, this defense lawyer is just like, he's trying to get everything thrown out. So he's like, the prosecution says, walks up to the officer with the floppy disk. Well, it's not a floppy disk. It's a CD, you know. He says, can you confirm that this is footage of your body cam? And he's like, yes. And so then the defense says, have you seen the information on this disc? And the officer's like, nope. And the defense lawyer's like, we exclude this evidence. And the judge is like, hold on. There's ways around this. He dismisses the jury and says, let's play it in court. So they play it, and right when, you know, it was like 30 seconds in, the judge pauses and says, can you confirm that this is your body cam footage? He's like, yes. He goes, it's admissible, or whatever. You know, the evidence is good to go. But then they watched the thing. and it's long. So then they cut it off to the one part. Now, this is the part I don't understand about our law. It's a video. But you're not allowed to play videos in the court because it's hearsay. How is it hearsay when the two people on the video are talking and it's not cutted, it's not edited? How is that hearsay? But there's an exception to the rule. You're allowed to bring it into court. I learned this all yesterday. You're allowed to bring it into court if the body cam is allowed to come into court if someone on the recording is in shock. I forgot the one word they used. It starts with an H. Now it's gonna really drive me crazy. In hysterics, that's what it was. Or in shock, stress, in hysterics. And so they pause it. They're like, the rest of it, we're not gonna play. We're just gonna say the rest is hearsay. And then the defense is like, well, after, and it was real short in the video. Right after that, it's hearsay. And the defense, the prosecutor's like, you can tell she's still in stress and in shock. And they're like, well, she just keeps repeating herself because she's in shock. But when she keeps repeating, more things are coming out. But it's just like, oh my God. Me and John are like, how is this hearsay? This is a video. I still don't understand that. And the other case I'm watching about the Apple River, we're seeing all the footage, and none of it is being called hearsay. So, I don't know. I understand when there's a witness on the stand and they're talking and they try to say what someone said. That's hearsay because there's no proof that that person actually said it. You have to hear it from the person's mouth. But on video, you're literally hearing it from the person's mouth. Make it make sense. It doesn't. So, long story short is, yesterday sucked. But I was able to relax for, I think it was about 2 hours in my darkened bedroom and just chilled out with the case. But yeah, I went to bed early last night too. I was so stressed. I went to bed at 8 o'clock and I was asleep by 10. And then I woke up this morning at 8 o'clock without my alarm and was refreshed and ready to start my day. So that's what we're doing. Yeah, so no Flosstube this week. It makes no sense to set up, do all that setup just to show 3 week projects. I had it all planned out where I was gonna do Whip Frenzy yesterday. I thought, oh, these taxes are gonna take me maybe at the most 3 hours. 9 hours later, and I was ready to have a freaking heart attack. But after today, I am done. And after today, I can be out of my mind. Right? Okay, I'm out of here because I'm just like, what am I? Rambling. Okay, bye guys. Oh, it is Tuesday. What happened yesterday? Well, work went really great. I was nervous about driving when the eclipse was happening. So, Cher made sure that all my orders got done early and I was out of there. So I was still driving when the start of the eclipse happened. And oh my gosh, the reflection off of people's cars with the sun was like, oh, it hurt my head. But we didn't get fully dark here at all. But I tell you, man, it was like there was a creepy feeling in the air when we were out there. It was just like, oh, this is weird. So it got to be like not even dusk, like a half an hour before dusk, where it's like you can just tell the sun is going down. There's a lot of more shadows everywhere, but it didn't get dark at all. And then it started getting lighter. I'm like, Beck, I think it's over with. We didn't have the glasses, so we just wanted to feel the effect of being out there and stuff, and looking at it in the reflection of the cars, because I learned you can do that driving. So yeah, it never went a whole bunch. And then I went in and I did Jonathan's taxes. His was accepted finally. Yay! So then I started to do my friend's daughter's, and then I had questions, and because I wanted to double check everything now. And
in 1/2 mile, turn left.
so I go with TurboTax. You go to make it easy. You go by the last year's taxes. Well, somehow, I really think that file is just corrupted. Last year's taxes. Because then when I went to go search to, verify everything, I couldn't find any of her information. So I called my friend. I'm like, hey, is she home with you right now? And I'm like, no, she's at work. I'm like, I need to know these things. So hopefully tonight we can get it done. And then I just have one more person's to do. And that's it. So hopefully this will be good. Didn't stitch last night. I hate doing taxes. So I can't put my mind into stitching. Yeah, that's about it. So tonight, no matter what, I don't care. I'm done with taxes. If I can't get this other person's taxes done, I'm just gonna give it back to her. It's not like I get anything from it, They don't pay me or anything. It's just, hey, Beck, can you do mine? Oh, sure, whatever. That's what it happens when you're a yes person. You say yes to everything. I mean, I don't mind doing my friends and her daughters. I've been doing them for years. But yeah, whatever. So that's what's going to be happening today. Oh, and in 15 minutes, the sentencing. I was like, trial. No, the trial's over, but the sentencing for the Oxford parents are going to happen. What I'm assuming is going to happen is the victim impact statements are all going to be done together, and then I think she's going to sentence them separately. But it's only fair to them that they only have to say their statements one time. Oh my goodness, I hate this parking lot. Yeah, it's only fair. So, I was gonna be pissed if no one was here. So yeah, I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna run this funeral. They gotta run some other funerals, and yay! Ooh, it is Friday. I don't know how many times I've done this clip because I went on a rant about categories, and I'm like, No, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. So, I did a couple of stitching. God, I can't even speak. I worked on 3 projects in the last 2 days. I worked on Watermelon Gnome, which I'm pretty sure I'm done with his hat. It was funny because you just stitch, right? And I thought I was stitching part of the hat still. Well, there's this one part where there's a watermelon slice, right? Coming off of his hat. And I was like, I don't like how that watermelon looks. And I had to keep stitching the bulk of his hat. And once I was done with that, then okay, we gotta stop you because I'm going to help my husband first. So then I had to do this dark green, and I started filling it in, and I realized it was the, how do you pronounce it, rind of the watermelon, the dark green part of the watermelon. I started filling that in, I'm like, oh my God, now it's starting to look like a watermelon slice. So I was very happy. It looks stunning. I think I did a little over 100 stitches on black and white, I swear. And then I did a couple of 100 stitches on black vintage. So that was my stitching. Tuesday night, we cleaned out, now this is in the front yard. The one, well, it's basically, it's just tomatoes. I always put tomatoes there. John likes the tomatoes there. And we cleaned that all out and got rid of all the weeds. And then some of the Easter plants have died. And okay, how do I say this? So like the daffodils, their season is over. They're, so once they've died, but not died, it's just they're done producing for the year. Then you snip them and you can plant them in your garden because it's a bulb, and then next year it comes back. And same with Easter lilies, hyacinths, crocus, and I think the hydrangeas are coming back. Didn't look like the azalea plant was coming back though. I just ripped that out. So we cleaned up the flower garden, and I got a whole bunch of stuff from work to put in that garden. So worked on that. Oh, by the way, John is feeling amazing. He didn't even have to take a break when we were doing both beds. Usually we have to take like 3 or 4 breaks. Finally, I was like, I need a break. Can we take a break? I need a break. Because, it was a hot day. It was like 74 degrees out there. And we're right in the hot sun at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So it was like, I'm sweaty. Can we sit down and drink some water before I pass out? So, okay, is my husband here yet? No. So, I don't know where I should park. He's coming up right behind me. I think I'm just going to park right here and help him. Okay, I'll be back. I helped Johnny. He had a whole bunch of funeral pieces going to one place, so I ran over there and helped him unload. Okay, so got the flower beds done. I think I was done talking about those. Hold on, I gotta write because I forgot to write. of games. I quit, I don't even remember what the group was called. Stitching with the Sisterlies, or not, I don't think it was Sisterlies. Sister Stitching, I don't know. The Stitching Sisters? Something like that. I don't know. They had a road trip, and I find now that I don't like games that you're not working as a team for something. And I didn't like how this one was run anyways, because no one was monitoring anything. So once I was more than halfway done with the road trip, that's a lot of freaking pictures. So when you go to bring up the event to add your pictures to the right spot, you had to scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll, and it takes forever for them to load. So there was no one there cleaning it up, meaning they would check to see if you did the right amount of stitches for that city to the other city or state or whatever. It was state to state. So in a normal group event where someone was actually paying attention to it, they would every so often, like maybe once a month, I'm not saying every week, like once a month or even quarterly, go in, and if the picture is liked, then you know you can delete it because someone has verified that you went that far, and it cleans up the post. No one was doing that, and it was like, it was basically an event where here, go ahead and just shove all your stitching somewhere, feel like you're doing something. It's like, no. It would have been better if there were like groups, and you know, you had like 10 people in your group, and you had a group chat, and you were like, maybe even like working together. I don't know. It just felt like it was, I made it to Boise. Boise? No. Oh my God, now my brain's not even working. Okay, I made it to Lansing. Who are you gonna tell? No one. Because no one was talking about where they were. So, okay, I'm getting ranty again. I'm not deleting this clip. I keep getting ranty. And the other thing that this group does is categories. This is where I keep getting myself in trouble, where I have to keep deleting it, because I go off on this big ass freaking rant. I don't like categories. I'm trying not to rant. It's a useless thing. It really is. So someone puts up a word, and then you have to find projects to fit that letter. Now you have to find the first name of a designer or a whip. That's easy because it's straightforward, but to me that's boring. And when you have to find a letter, like you have to find something with the letter S in your whip, that can be fun sometimes. But it's just like, I don't know, I'm just not into categories, and that's all I'm gonna go there. I don't feel like that's fun either. I found out that I'm a person who likes to be in a group that there's, so how do I say this? A group inside of a group, like Hell's Kitchen. There's 4 of us? Yes. 4 people to we're called diners in there. So mine is the Sip and Stitch. And we have a glass of wine on our thing. I can make the cute little thingy. But anyways, so you work as a team to complete the event. I love stuff like that. Oh gosh, I never can remember the name. I call it SOS. Survival of the Stitchers? think is the name of the group. I don't remember. But in that group, there's groups inside the groups, and I don't remember how many people we have on our team, but we're like a colony, or I think we'd be called a colony, right? We work together to survive and survival. I don't know, it's a fun group. The thing that I like about it is, the only thing I don't like about it is there's an event every weekend, but you have to use a code word. I hate code words. I really despise code words. So I haven't been participating in that lately. But I mean, it can be fun. I would be fine too if you just could, like, at the beginning of the event, like, you know you're gonna use that whip for like the whole night, right? I wish you could just take a picture of the first thing that you do at the beginning of the night, have the code word on there, and then just be able to stitch and post. But you have to have the code word on every start photo. Well, that means then I have to take 2 photos, one without and one with, because I like to keep my Facebook album is each project. I put my progress pictures in that album, which is really cool, especially the ones that are done. Sometimes I just go back and just look at the project in my photos, you know. I don't know, it's just something I like to do, but I don't want code words on them, so that means I have to take double pictures, because I never know which pictures I want to put in there, you know. So I don't know, but it is what it is. So I haven't been doing the events because of the code words, but there's so much more to do on the settlement that you feel like you're participating when you're not participating in the events. And what I like about the settlement is, like, if I think last night I did 226 stitches, so I was able to post a picture with 226 stitches, and the 26 stitches didn't go to waste. They get put in the bank. So when, like, we're short on something, we can use banked stitches to finish something up. And then, so there's only basically, unless it's an event in SOS, that is the only one, except for 2, we didn't have one this month though. In Harry Potter, there's a monthly event, but those are high stitch counts. So you're not taking a picture every 100-300 stitches. The only one I do that for is Hell's Stitching. I always call it Hell's Kitchen. It's Hell's Stitching. Where am I going? Oh yeah, I know where I'm going. So I stopped. The main thing was, reason why I stopped the road trip was because it took forever to load after so many freaking things were done. But I was thinking too, I got rid of road trip because my thing is I love to do bulk stitching. So usually in Hell's Kitchen I try to do the higher amounts, like the 300s or 200s, so I'm not having to take a picture every 100. I mean, there's sometimes I'm grateful there are those hundreds, because I'm like, okay, one more 100 and then I'll do 100. And if they're all hundreds, well then they're all hundreds. But I hope this is making sense. I don't want to, it was like, oh, I got a 300 for Hell Stitching, But I still had to post every 100 for the road trip. Because one thing I wasn't doing was, maybe I was making a lot of work on myself. I don't know. It just wasn't fun, though. I wouldn't post every time for a road trip. Every time I took a picture. How do I say this? It was my own fault, too. Now that I'm thinking about it. But I was making more work of myself. I should have just had a tally by my chair and knew I needed to get 600 stitches for, you know, going from that state to the other state. Yeah, I don't know. I just think it's easier not being in so many games. I think it was putting a lot of pressure on myself too, and it just wasn't fun. I know I'm the one stressing myself out because, well, here's the thing. I love doing the weekly floss tubes, right? But now it's getting to be summer. Well, spring, summer. What I really have to do this weekend is clean the Florida room. I'm kicking myself that Wednesday nights, right? Yes. Wednesday night, I was going to go and clean the Florida room. And when I got home, I thought, ooh, let me just stitch for a little bit. And then I got lost in my stitching and I never went out and cleaned the Florida room. Couldn't do it yesterday because it's raining. Can't do it today because it's raining. Because the Florida room is so small. When I clean it, I have to have the outside to be able to organize stuff to then put it back in the Florida room or find it a new home. It's just, you just can't do it in the Florida room. So I gotta have the outside to be nice to be able to do that. But I have to get the Florida room cleaned because I need to get my seeds in the starter cups like now. So yeah, that's a problem. And my starter seeds are going to be started in the Florida room. I have the heater already in there, and I just need to get it clean so I can put the stuff in there. Anywho. And then there's, I want to get a lot of these finishes done to fully finish them and redo my wall because I'm not liking my wall. Or maybe once I get some things done, I don't know. John's going to kill me because I think I'm going to have him rearrange the shelves. But the main thing I want to do is I want to get my freaking peacock finished and hung on the wall. And I want to be able to do things. And I just feel like I'm getting nowhere. I'm just stressing myself out and nothing's happening. So, sorry, I gotta put on the heat for a second. My windows are getting foggy. Yeah. But I can't do all this stuff if I'm stitching. And if I'm not stitching, well then how am I supposed to make a floss tube? See the circle of frustration that I'm having? I'm like, ah. So yeah. Oh, what are they doing? They're putting these fancy lights. Yeah, okay. So there will be a floss tube on Monday. I gotta plan my days better. I really need to start getting up early and stitch in the morning. That would solve a lot. Okay, so I can't go there right now. The hearse is coming out. Are you gonna go? He was honking because that's the guy that I talk to every day, every time I come here. Okay, I guess I'm just gonna end it here. I will figure everything out. But if I stitch early in the morning, then instead of sitting in my chair and playing games, I could stitch for at least 2 hours in the morning and then do my crap when I get home and then maybe stitch at night. That's what I need to do. I need to get my butt in gear and get this stuff figured out. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed this crazy vlog this week, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.